On today's episode of Bet Bath & Beyond, Andy and Ian are going to talk about baseball the whole time.
No, we're not. Andrew, no, we're not.
No, we're not. We're going to talk about football, though, basically the whole time, because that's the best sport.
It is the best sport, and we are in the best part of the year where there's nothing really to do or talk about except for football, unless your team was good and actually made the MLB postseason. Mine did not.
Mine did.
So I don't want to talk about it. You don't have a team, Andrew. You don't have a fucking team.
Actually, it won't matter here if they lose tonight. So,
surprised you watched it. Surprised you're going to watch it.
You know.
You're not going to watch it.
No, I'm not. We're going to watch Thursday Night Football's on. You kidding me? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 10-team parlay, and we'll wrap with our pick'em game. You're not going to want to miss it.
Do we have to talk about last week's Thursday night game?
Yeah.
Fuck. Roll it. 3, 2, 1, go. I am Ian Peacock.
And I am Andy Heidemann. And I hate sports betting. No matter what you say, I'm betting 100 on it tonight.
Welcome to Bet Bath & Beyond.
Brought to you by B3TSports.com
and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, huge sponsor. Nintendo.
Huge sponsor. They actually want me to open up the case. That's what the people at Nintendo wanted me to do. Here is the case.
Excellent.
Here's some games.
I can even send you some games to fill it out for their ad.
Here's the Switch. I'm not going to take the whole Switch out. We might get docked a couple dollars because of that, but you can clearly see the product, and we're saying Nintendo Switch. It's in the game, Nintendo Switch, and Switch. Now we'll get paid.
If you want, good. Thank you very much. You can listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, and on YouTube. Check us out. Go rate us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. If you want a chance
Can you see my kitchen?
No.
Or is
God, I'm doing an ad read. What are you doing?
The camera really just...
You motherfucker.
I'm in the nook of my apartment, but I don't want it to... My kitchen's right here, and it's
messy. If you want a shot at a free NFL jersey, check out b3tsports.com/contest. And if you would like some fantasy football info, go check out Fantasy Fight Night on our YouTube channel, or you can find that on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Heard we have a sponsor. Heard we have a sponsor for that podcast.
We do. It is sponsored by B3T Sports, obviously. And it is now sponsored by Dynasty Pros. Go check them out. They are really, really big in the fantasy industry when it comes to IDPs, when it comes to Devy work for college recruiting. They are very, very good at those two aspects of fantasy. That's kind of where they make their mark. And it's not because they're amazing at
it's not because they're amazing.
No, they are amazing.
It's not because they're
like they never get anything wrong in their IDP picks and stuff. They actually have come up with the format that is becoming the standard in the fantasy industry for how you should score IDPs. The thing that hasn't caught up to the industry yet is
IDPs. No
app has come out with a good way to score. What you need to be able to do is score players based on position, like giving a lineman 2 points for a tackle versus giving a cornerback 3 points for a tackle, because it's more valuable in certain aspects of the game.
Inside linebackers are going to have the most tackles.
Right, exactly. And and if a defensive lineman gets an interception, that should be a lot of points, so they're really big in that space, but obviously we're super happy to have them as a sponsor of the Fantasy Fight Night podcast. You're going to be seeing some stuff with them.
Now, why didn't they want to sponsor this podcast?
Oh, because this podcast, this is
because we have Nintendo.
I don't even know.
Nintendo. This is a social experiment. This is just Yeah, you're right. What the fuck is this?
Well, let's start off with the most depressing thing. The Dodgers are down.
No, Andrew,
they're down.
I don't want
to down to the Atlanta Braves 3-1. Robbie, I gotta know what are your thoughts as
our producer Robbie? Save me. Our producer Robbie, please save me from this conversation.
I'll keep it quick. So before, if you talked to me, I would have said the Dodgers all the way because they were the second best team in all of baseball, right behind the Giants. I think that the wild card game took a little bit out of them. It's really hard, especially since they went down to that one game wild card playoff for a wild card team to make it and win the World Series. They just look tired, and they've had a lot of injuries. Scherzer came out and said he has a dead arm after his last outing didn't go very well. And the one thing that they do have is a very streaky lineup, and that's been showing. Or not Dodgers, but Braves are just getting hot at the right time, and they look really good right now.
I hate the singular wild card elimination. I hate single elimination, especially for games where like football, it makes sense because if you played a series of 3 football games to determine like through the playoffs, like people would die. I'm certain they would die. But now I know you're cooking your arm at baseball, and I know you're already playing a ton of games, but what are 2 extra games like if you're playing a 3-game series for like say the wild card or something?
So
right?
They did that last year because of COVID, where there was more teams in the playoffs, and they did a best of 3 series. There's rumors that might be coming within the next 2 or 3 seasons. I don't know, but I think at least for next year there will be a single game wild card again.
In the sense of competition, that's where I don't like it. Although I will say it has to make sense for ratings, because like a 1-game winner take all game is probably better than 3 games. I know
it's more exciting.
It's more exciting. Yeah, exactly.
Especially with in the American League this year was Yankees and Red Sox. ESPN said it was their most watched baseball game in like the last 7 years.
Yeah. God, those are 2 classic rivals too, going at each other in a 1-game elimination.
Right. And then Houston, they lead the Red Sox 3-2. I'm fairly certain Houston's going to win that, but who knows? What do I know? I don't watch baseball.
They're cheaters. Banging on trash cans. Jose Altuve definitely has a wire again.
Doesn't want to take his shirt off.
Doesn't want to take his shirt off because of his wife. Lies. Look, you had me talking baseball. I'm
just telling you.
Let's stop this madness.
Sports are great, and you know it. I know it.
Sports are great. Baseball is great. I love baseball, but not when my teams are not playing in the postseason. Well, no, I can't.
Just hop on.
I'm not like you that can just hop on bandwagons. Hop off bandwagons.
That's not.
I
fair.
know the Dodgers are
before the season even started. Me and you had that whole conversation where you're like, I'm obviously a Cubs fan. I'm like, I'm gonna pick. I'm like, I pick the Dodgers. I'm gonna ride them the whole season.
Which team am I gonna pick that has already been, World Series favorites in the past 5 years? Oh,
wait, in the last 5 years, when did the Cubs win? When did the Cubs win their World Series?
2016.
No, so about 5 years ago. Okay, that's fine. I was just checking the math.
But listen, I was a fan of the Cubs in high school.
Sure.
I came and visited Chicago.
You're old and dying.
Yeah, we were bad. We've been historically bad for a century.
Yeah.
Cursed. Billy Goat curse.
You want to talk about flying too close to the sun? I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, all right? I will never get close to the Super Bowl ever again. All I had to do is jump on that fumble.
All right, now we'll talk football.
Real quick, I want to ask, now that I'm thinking about it, you're from Baltimore, right, Ian?
I am.
So are you an Orioles fan or no?
I am an Orioles fan.
Another team that's hard to be a fan.
I am an Orioles fan. I grew up going to Camden Yards. I still go to Camden Yards when I'm in Baltimore over the summer. Orioles obviously suck. They're obviously in the American League. The Cubs are in the National League. They rarely play each other. And when they do, I typically root for the Orioles. But since they're so far, and that's not like they're rivals at all, I have the luxury of being able to root for both teams.
Sure.
But I did go to Cubs games in high school.
I know, so I believe you. That's not... No, it's just
baseball is a casual enough sport where you can be a fan of more than one team.
That's
the
fine.
NFL is not.
The only reason I'm laughing, that's why I'm laughing, because if you go back, I swear, 100 episodes.
No, Andrew. I didn't say for all of sports you can only have one team.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just
category
saying
of sports
that at the time you were saying you couldn't be a fan of 2 NFL teams, which is true. I'm not. There's no context. True. I'm just saying that's what you said. So I
still stand by that. I stand by it. It's a good idea, and I stand by it.
Let's do your favorite thing. Let's talk about last Thursday's game.
Yes.
Tampa Bay and the Philadelphia Eagles. It turned out 22-28. Jalen Hurts again didn't really do anything until
He's
like
so
the
bad.
second.
He's so bad.
It's so crazy because he is in the context of fantasy football. Jalen
He's
Hurts
good.
is so good because it's garbage time. Rushing yards are a cheat code for quarterbacks, but in real football, he's just not that great. Now, granted, they have Devonta Smith as their wide receiver, and then for some reason they've got Miles Sanders, who I kid you not, in the second half of the game against the Bucs, I think they ran it 2 times. You can't play in the NFL and only run the ball 2 times. I mean, even if you're getting stuffed, you have to do it because it keeps guys off your receivers. It keeps guys through the middle clear on some of those go routes. I don't understand their offensive play calling at all.
Yeah, I was up late last night on Reddit, and I actually came across a Reddit post in one of the fantasy football subreddits that I'm in, and it said, "What is a player
Yep, I saw
that
the same thing.
performs well in fantasy but is horrible to watch in real life?" And Jalen Hurts was unanimously the number one answer because it's so true. He'll get 20 plus points a game because he runs, and he'll get a running touchdown in. But he is so bad to watch. It's cringeworthy. Like, he's not the guy in Philly, right? I think I'm not an Eagles fan, but I think most Eagles fans don't want him to be the guy.
I'm not in a position yet to say whether or not he should be the guy. I want them to get better coaching because it's when you're a young quarterback like he is, he's not audibling out of a lot of these play calls. Like, he's getting the play calls, he's running the play, and if it doesn't work out, okay, Jalen Hurts is bad, right? Like, that's what happens. But he does know how to make things happen on the ground with his feet. He knows when to tuck it and run and when he needs to push the ball. It's just
sometimes.
I know, but he's
there are
young,
sometimes he'll run out of bounds and lose 2 yards, and he could have easily thrown it away.
Right.
It's like little stuff like that where you're like,
it's rookie stuff. And I mean, he's not a true rookie. I know he was drafted the last year, but he only played a handful of games. This is the first year with the new coach. I think that I want to see a full year with actual development from his, because they're also going to have like a couple of first round picks this next year because they have some conditional picks. Like, they are looking to totally rebuild. And even if he's like serviceable, because that's the other thing in the NFL, you can have a good QB, a serviceable QB, and a bad QB, right? And if you have the pieces, serviceable is not always bad. If you don't have the pieces, serviceable is bad because you're not going to get a good draft pick and all that blah blah blah. But to answer your question, Jalen Hurts looks bad at football.
I just had to look up the score because, again, a week ago my brain has already shredded any information from this game. I do remember playoff Leonard Fournette having a big game. 30 plus points.
They're running through him, dude.
Do you think he's still a starter? Do you think he's a starter?
I'm starting
Leonard this week.
I'm starting Leonard Fournette in a lot of leagues this week.
Not the Dynasty League because I have him.
Not the Dynasty League. No, not that. But
I beat Adam this week. Did you know I beat Adam this week?
That's actually funny as hell. No, I did not know that.
I beat Adam this week. I beat him. The reigning champion of our Dynasty League. Your co-host in Fantasy Fight Night loses to this guy. The schlub. The guy who came in 2 seasons ago and got all the bench players.
Well, you're actually doing pretty well for your, what is this, your second year? Technically, it's your second year with a draft. The first year was like your draft, like actually expanding on a new team. But you and the other expansion team are doing pretty well.
So, I'd say so. In fact, I should have. I'm 2-4 right now. I should be 3-3, though. I lost 2 weeks ago and this is totally fine by me, totally fine. But Hollywood Brown put up like 35 plus points on the Colts. But again, totally fine given that
your real team wins. It's like, I'm all about it.
Exactly.
I love that shift that happens during the NFL season, as like you get further and further into the season. You always want, like, I always start the season, I want the Panthers to win. If I lose every fantasy game but the Panthers win a Super Bowl, I'm in. I'm 100% in. Now, like, as the season goes and you're like, man, the Panthers blow and I'm doing kind of good in fantasy. And like, you get like to week 9 where it's like, even if the Panthers win this week, it doesn't fucking matter. They are like mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. It's like, I could use a loss here from them for a fantasy win. I went 5-5 in fantasy this week, which is the worst I've done to date this year.
It just doesn't mean anything to me, Andrew. You're in 10 leagues. Like, what's the point? What's the point? My face is so dark right now.
What do you mean? What's the point? It's to win a ton of money.
Put some light on my face.
We gotta get you some equipment. We gotta boost you. We gotta boost your lighting.
Yeah, you know what, Andrew? Give me a green screen so I can put a fucking Panthers backdrop.
I can make this
that sometimes interferes with drinks that I'm drinking.
No,
that's what we need.
The drink interferes with the green screen. You've got that backwards.
All right.
You want to go to the next game?
I do want to go to the next game. By the way, Buccaneers win 28-22.
That actually bugged a lot of people.
What was the spread? 6.5?
Yeah, it was 6.5.
I can't remember who I took.
You had it. You took them to cover. I took the Eagles. I mean, that's a bad beat. They were on the 2-yard line and they kneeled it down for so that way they.
So wait, you won? So then you won that game.
No, you took the Eagles to.
I took the Eagles to cover. Nice. Yeah,
I took.
Fuck you.
I took Tampa Bay.
We'll get to it. That's a week 7 projections. But
we got graphics.
You're fucked. You're fucked.
You actually, you did pass me this week.
Yeah, you fucked.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's me saying that I passed you. Is you're fucked.
Let me see here. I was looking something up really quick. Okay.
So, should we talk about the London game? The Jags getting their first win, and I'm kind of upset because I wanted Urban Meyer to just continue going down a deep spiraling hole of darkness.
He kind of is, because if he has an average season, they're going to keep him, right? And then he's going to have to quit if he wants to leave. So this is the worst thing that could happen for him.
Yeah, he actually wants to lose all his games because then it's just easier for him to walk away.
Yeah, he won't even have to. They'll just fire him.
Exactly. And then he'll get a severance, maybe.
I will say, good on Meyer. He kicked the field goal. They didn't fuck around. They didn't go, we'll play for overtime. They pushed the ball, went for the field goal, and they won the game. I had a prop bet. Oh my goodness. I had a prop bet parlay.
Oh my goodness.
And one of them was Robinson having over 76.5 rushing yards. I think he ended the game with 75. That was a bad beat.
We'll get to this when we talk about the Bears game, but I was watching the Bears game with some Chicago natives, some big Bears fans.
That's going to be so funny.
Dude, just watching them we'll talk about it. A huge bad beat for one of my buddies who's a big gambler. We talked about him on the podcast. He even wrote an article for us once back in the day. Okay. Yogo Bonito was the name he went by. He had a bet on Justin Fields. He had a prop bet on Justin Fields, and we'll talk about that coming up.
That sounds like insanity.
Bears.
But Miami lost, and that sucks. That was part of my 10-team parlay. I really thought Miami would definitely win that. The Jags are terrible, but that was the
terrible
first loss. Kansas City beat Washington. That was supposed to happen.
It looked close there for a while.
Another game though where Pat Mahomes plays really good football, but it looks like he played bad football on the stat line because he had another tip.
He played bad football. Hold on. He played bad football in the first half. He played bad football in the first half.
He played all right football. He didn't play Patrick Mahomes insane.
No, he played. His first half was bad football.
But one of those interceptions, this is the third time this year where it's off Tyreek Hill's hands and into the arms of a defender. If you're Tyreek Hill, dude, you cannot.
I think they need to cut him. I think they need to cut Tyreek Hill.
Just trade him to Baltimore, right?
I fucking love that.
But so another thing that's interesting about this game is Antonio Gibson. We know that he's got a stress fracture in his shin, and they're just managing pain at this point, so they're load managing him. But he came out of the game. J.D. McKissic played a decent portion. Should
I start him this week? Should I start?
As of right now, it's impossible to know because we don't know who's starting. But I could tell you that Gibson did not participate in practice today. So there's a solid chance that he won't play this week. If he's not playing this week, yeah, play J.D. McKissic. He's going to get 9 targets.
I really like McKissic. I think he's way more athletic than Gibson.
I don't know about that. I think
I do. Fight me.
Gibson used to play wide receiver in college. He was really damn good at it too. I
so
think
did JD.
Maybe. Did he?
I don't know.
I don't think that's true. The real prize though is if you're looking to in your streaming tight ends right now, look for Ricky Seals-Jones, dude. That dude's
picked him up.
He's getting targets. I think last week or the week before he played 99% of snaps, Last week he played 100% of snaps.
Got a
As long as
touchdown.
Logan Thomas is not he's on IR and not on the field, Ricky Seals-Jones is going to be
So
a
that's
solid
why I
start.
picked him up, is because I have Logan Thomas and he was
Sure.
injured and put on the IR. So then I just picked up Ricky Seals-Jones.
The Rams played the Giants, and Daniel Jones did come back to play this game. He was coming out of the concussion protocol.
He probably shouldn't have.
I don't think he should have either. But
This
Barkley
is a
didn't
terrible
play.
game for Giants.
Giants look terrible. I mean, the Rams are good. I mean, their defense is good. But they have weapons on the outside that could score. I really like what the Rams are doing this season. I knew that they would beat the Giants. I was very confident before Daniel Jones was said to come in. When they said Daniel Jones was going to play, I was like, maybe it'll be closer. Like maybe they won't hit the spread, because I think the spread was crazy. I thought it was like 13 points or something, but no, it was like 10 and a half. But
it was still double digits.
Yeah, and that's huge. But Barkley might be back this week. No news has come from that, although I think he did not participate in practice today, so we'll see.
If he's back this week, that is huge for my fantasy, because I am streaming what's his nuts, Booker.
I mean, that should be bad. I mean, the Giants because of Panthers. Ooh, that might not be great.
Why?
Well, I'm thinking about defensive matchups, like fantasy points allowed to the running back position, and honestly, the Rams are a good real life defense, but as far as fantasy points go, they're middle of the pack. They would allow the 15th most points to the running back position in fantasy. Carolina's a little bit lower. I think they're like 20th, 19th, something like that. So I mean, it's just if you were concerned about matchup, that would be.
I'm not concerned about matchups.
Fuck
matchups.
Houston played the Colts, and by played, I mean they were there.
Yeah. Do we have to talk about this game? Colts blew out the Texans. Let's move on.
Well, I do want to say Paris Campbell suffered a serious foot injury. It's like they haven't given him a timeline yet. He hasn't landed on.
Who is starting Paris Campbell? Who is starting him?
There are lots of people starting Paris Campbell.
No, there's no one starting Paris Campbell. There is no one starting Paris Campbell.
You know that there are more fantasy leagues than just ones that play 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs, right?
Yes, I understand that, but what has he's put up? I grabbed the reason why I know this, and the reason why I'm so passionate about this, is because I picked him up on waivers. I think the 3rd week of the season, and he put up. I didn't start him, but I wanted him on my bench. He put up a 0 burger on me. Right. And
now
he literally hasn't done anything since then.
Now let's say that not a single soul in the world is starting him, right? Now, the important part about this is not who's starting him and whether you should pick him up or drop him. It's that there's going to be open targets now for other people. Like, that's the most important thing.
Okay, that's a good spin, Andrew.
Exactly.
That's a good. Then just say that, Andrew.
You got to roll into it. I can't fucking slam my facts into this.
Don't bury the lead, Andrew.
My favorite thing. And then Tyrod Taylor's day to day. I don't know if he's going to play this week. He probably won't, but he's coming off that hamstring injury. Who knows? Cincinnati, Detroit. This is the worst Detroit's looked all season, which is saying something.
Bad loss.
But I think the Bengals aren't as bad.
The big thumbs down.
I think the Bengals are working at something. I really like their wide receivers. Joe Mixon is talented, even though he's just a volume play for them. And I think Joe Burrow can sling it. The defense is whatever, and they have a bad offensive line. If they get a decent offensive line piece, I think they could be pretty all right. I mean, they're definitely going to be this is the stepping stone year where the Bengals are better than the Steelers. So
yeah, I agree with that, but that's not saying a whole lot, because the Steelers are pretty trash right now.
The Steelers aren't very good right now, although they did win this week.
They got a healthy Burrow. Jamar Chase is
electric.
He is electric. I think this was his first game not getting a touchdown, but he still had 90-something yards, and he still had a couple highlight reels. The dude's electric.
He's like the dynasty number 1 or number 2 wide receiver right now for fantasy.
Yeah.
Then we got. We'll talk now. Now I'm excited for this. Green Bay, Chicago. I want to hear about this bad beat.
Okay, so Yogo Bonito is the name that we'll give my friend. It's his penmanship name. He is a big gambler here in Chicago. One of my good friends here. Big Bears fan, as you can expect, being born and raised here in Chicago. He had a prop bet, and a pretty large one at that, which was 3 sacks on Aaron Rodgers. The defense would get 3 sacks on Aaron Rodgers, plus Plus Justin Fields
that's
getting 100. Look, I'm not a Bears fan. Plus Justin Fields getting 174 and a half passing yards.
Passing yards?
174.
Oh, I would not have taken that. Although I know why he took it, because both the corners for the Packers are out. But
so I'm looking this up because I'm pretty sure. So early in the game, the 3-sack prop hit. That prop of the bet where you needed the 3 sacks was hit. So all he needed Justin Fields to throw was 174 and a half yards. He bought that number down. It was, I think, 180 or 190. Sure. And he bought it down to some arbitrary 174 and a half. And he still got decent odds. I think it was still in the plus 200 category, mostly because of the sacks. Sacks hit. Justin Fields, he ends up, do you know what he ends up with?
No, I do not, actually. I have
174.
Oh, my God.
Swear to God, he missed out on the bet by 0.5 yards.
How many units did he bet? Do you know?
Knowing Yogo, I'd probably say 5 units or something. Nothing small. Right. He's not a small gambler.
So that's funny, and
we love you, Yogo.
That sucks. I hate the bad beat, but the best part about this game is Aaron Rodgers' quote when he scored that touchdown. I mean, I can't believe he looks into the stands and say, "I fucking own you. I've owned you my
whole life."
That's so funny, though. I know there are a lot of Bears fans who are like, I can't believe you would say that. That's so ridiculous. Fuck you. Beat him.
Well, here's the thing. He said that in response to Bears fans flipping him off.
Right.
Once he crossed the touchdown, once he crossed the end zone, they were flipping him off first. And then do we know, did he get fined for that?
As of right now, I don't believe he's been fined, but there's no way.
I hope he doesn't.
Fucking Ezekiel Elliott got fined for jumping into the goodwill pot at
right. I would guess, based off of the NFL's previous actions,
that's taunting.
That Aaron Rodgers would get fined for saying the F word to fans in the stands, but it was totally justified because they were flipping him off. And look, I don't have a dog in the fight, even though I live in Chicago. I'm not a Bears fan, and I'm certainly not a Packers fan. It was fucking entertaining as hell to watch.
Yeah, and it's if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I get that letter, it's like, you've been fined. It's like, how am I supposed to know they can hear me? I'm on the field.
Well, that kind of says something, because you can say, I'm assuming you're allowed to cuss, right, in games.
I think so. Like I've heard the mic'd ups. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, exactly. You can cuss.
So it's funny because I've heard the mic'd ups, and they usually bleep them, obviously, when they put them on YouTube or on TikTok and stuff. However, so obviously the players cuss. But the other thing that's interesting is I've seen mic'd ups where they say they're talking to another teammate, and they're like, "Oh, we got to tell X or Y, like, they can't say certain things right now because I'm mic'd up." Yeah, exactly. And that's super funny because they'll keep that in, but so like somebody's going to say something inappropriate,
right?
But,
right.
Next game, I thought this was going to be a game of the week. I really did. I thought the Chargers looked good, but Baltimore, dude, looks insane.
Peace out, San Diego. Peace out, LA. Whatever town the Chargers are from now these days. Because I'll be honest, Andrew, I was a little worried going into this game. We've been. We were 4-1 entering this game.
Damn,
we were 4-1. Entering this game, but let me tell you, most of those wins were nail biters. I mean, Justin Tucker had to kick a 66-yarder against the Detroit Lions. We barely made it out of the Chiefs game. We had to go for it on 4th and 1, and then obviously the game last week before this game against the Colts, we had to come back in dramatic fashion, had to go to overtime. It was, just a crazy roller coaster. Our wins this year have been insane, okay?
Oh, yeah. And it's been fun to watch, too.
It's so much fun, but also stressful as a Ravens fan. I was worried that this was going to be a game that finally put us in our place because Justin Herbert, he can sling it.
Yeah,
they've got weapons. They got Eckler. They've got Williams. They've got Keenan Allen. And our defense just hasn't been looking great up until this point. Holy shit, did we stop Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense.
Yeah.
Like handedly.
I not only
and Lamar didn't even do that much.
No,
Lamar
honestly,
kind of played.
I have Lamar in fantasy, and he kind of fucked me. Which, you know what, though? You know what, though? That's totally fair because I won 2 leagues. I was going to go 6-4 last week, but I went 8-2 because Lamar got me 2 44-point fucking weeks.
Yeah, like he's not going to put up insane. Yeah, he's not going to put up insane historic numbers. But here's what he did: he controlled the game. He threw when needed. There wasn't much for him to do. He did throw a pretty bad pick, but move on.
You're not going to go through a season where you don't throw a pick. Aaron Rodgers,
but
3 years.
That's just a beautiful example that he doesn't have to play insane every single week to win a game.
Le'Veon Bell just got moved up onto your 50
he's looking
roster.
good.
I'm curious.
He's looking good.
That. So I picked him up in a league because I had an empty spot.
All 3 of our running backs, Murray, Freeman, and Bell, they all look great. I know they're all kind of washed up, but still, they look great for washed up running backs.
So Minnesota, they play Carolina.
Oh, that's it. That's all you want to talk about with the Ravens.
That's all I got. There's nothing else. They destroyed. them.
It wasn't like we destroyed them. Them. Are you not impressed? Are you not happy?
Oh, no, I would. Well, sure. Good. Congratulations. I think I told you last week that the Ravens I think could be Super Bowl contenders, and that's
who did you have? Who did you have for this game? I'm just curious.
I took the Chargers. This was my second loss in the 10-team parlay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
And the Ravens were favored. It was a upset. They were like plus 140. It wasn't a crazy swing, but they were definitely not favored. I do have the Ravens in my 10-team parlay this week. So.
Oh really, Andrew? Who do you have? Us or the Bengals?
I have the Ravens.
You swear?
It's already placed. You'll see the graphic.
Okay. All right. Well,
cool. Unfortunately, Carolina lost to the fucking to the Vikings.
Vikings.
Now, good news is we both had the Vikings in our pick'em, so that's good. But dude, Chris McCaffrey he got hurt. They're like, it's a 0.5 hamstring strain. He's going to be back soon. Goes a week. Everyone expected him to miss a week. That's whatever. The next week, they're like, we'll still see. It's whatever. But we aren't sure yet. We don't want to rush him back too quick. And everyone's like, it's totally fine. Third week, press conference. Matt Rule's like 50-50. I don't know if he's going to play yet, but it's 50-50, which that's a good sign. You're trending in the right direction.
Sure.
Saturday, news hits. He's been placed on IR. 50-50 my ass. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Now, the only benefit to any of this is that it was on Saturday and not on Sunday. It's not like he dressed. So that Sunday game did count towards his IR because you have to miss 3 games when you go on IR. So now he's only got 2 games left. But
that's a kick in the pants. That's a kick in the nuts.
I think he's played 8 games, 7 out of 24 games in the last 2 seasons.
He's like Saquon, dude. They're injury prone.
He might be worse. He might be tied early.
Ooh.
This
is the problem. This is the problem with putting so much stock in an individual running back.
Oh, it just
doesn't make sense anymore because they get beat up so much. It just makes so much more sense to go. And I'm not trying to rub it in, but Baltimore has done, or what a bunch of people have done. Even down in Dallas, they're putting Pollard in.
Some work.
Exactly.
There's only one human being who can get 20 carries or 20 touches a game and be all right, and his name's Derrick Henry. It's just what it fucking
freak. He's a fucking
that dude's
freak.
Insane. And I saw a stat the other day, and it was Derrick Henry's yards per carry in the first quarter is 3.2, which is not very good. In the second quarter, it is 4.1. In the third quarter, it's 5.3. And in the fourth quarter, it is 6.5 yards per carry.
It's because he wears on the defense.
No one wants to tackle. I tell you what, in the fourth quarter of a football game, and I'd be like, he's coming at me again.
El Tractorcito?
Yeah, it's I'm just gonna I'm gonna let him kill me. It's I'm gonna put the crown of my helmet down, and I hope he kills me.
Make it quick. Hangman's axe, dude. Just the guillotine.
Oh my god! But Carolina lost. There was talk. This is interesting, just because he's paid so much money. Chris McCaffrey has an outrageous contract. Just make Chuba Hubbard the feature back and move Chris McCaffrey to the slot when he's healthy. Just try to keep him as healthy for as long as possible because he's still
just so you can get your money's worth. Jesus,
yeah, because he would still be an awesome slot receiver. I don't know. He wouldn't be as dynamic, but
do what the Cowboys are doing down in Dallas where they're they're using Pollard more, use Hubbard more.
But anyway, so we'll move on to Arizona, Cleveland. Cleveland got rocked this game. Dude, Cleveland is just getting torn apart.
I just had no idea that this was going to happen. I honestly had no idea that the Browns were going to lose to the Cardinals, because I really think the Browns are good, Andrew. I really think the Browns
I think
are a good football
talent,
team.
But you can't sit here and tell me that like they're
going to lose tonight against the Broncos.
I have them in the 10-team parlay, so I hope that's not the case. It's supposed to be
joking. The Broncos are bad, dude. The Broncos are bad.
Yeah, but Baker's not playing. Chubb and Hunter both out. They're missing, I think, their left tackle. I
actually didn't know. Wait. Hold on. Baker Mayfield's not playing today.
Yeah, they're playing Case Keenum instead. Have you heard what happened to Baker's shoulder?
Let's pretend I do, but if any listener doesn't know, how about you tell them?
So Baker, he dislocated his shoulder in like week 1 or 2, and they popped it back in, and they're like, go ahead. And he's like, I want to keep playing. And which is, everyone's like, yeah, good for him. That's tough, whatever.
That's Baker.
That's Baker. Exactly. Right. And then in week 4 or 5, one of the two, I can't remember which, it pops again. It dislocates again. And he tore part of the labrum, I guess. But he's like, I still want to play. And he's like,
classic Baker.
It seems like he needs surgery, but if he gets surgery, the rehab is the season. Like, he will be out if he gets repaired. It's not his throwing shoulder; it's the other shoulder.
So who cares?
Oh, so that's the thing. They're going to try to manage his pain. I think he's getting a second opinion to see what's up. But I mean, assuming he doesn't absolutely tear that arm off, he's probably going to play all season just through a torn labrum, which, I mean, people do that. I mean, that one's not insane. I mean, it hurts. I'm sure it sucks, but
did you hear she's taking her kids out of tennis practice, out of tennis lessons?
No, he is the best. He is the best. NFL actor.
He's a very, very good commercial actor. Better than, I can't think of another pro athlete that does as good a job as he does for those progressive commercials, because they're actually entertaining.
Oh, Shaq when he does the general.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Shaq is the king.
Different breed.
Shaq is on another level.
So another funny thing to mention is Myles Garrett went sleeveless for the second. He went sleeveless in this game for the second time in his career. Coincidentally, both times that he has gone sleeveless, the next day he has gotten randomly drug tested by the NFL. He's like, I just can't not wear sleeves. I have to wear sleeves every fucking game, I guess. It's like sleeveless Garrett is retired.
Just because he looks fucking jacked?
He's huge, dude. I should send a picture because it is.
Can you put a picture up on
Yeah, we definitely can. Sleeveless. While I look for that though, I think like the Browns are good, but man, their injuries are gonna suck. Like they're gonna win tonight, but I don't know what the rest of their season.
Actually, I'm actually probably gonna take the Broncos. I'll wait until our official Week 7 picks after we recap all of Week 6.
Sure.
But now that I know Case Keenum is playing, I'm probably gonna go Broncos. Is Teddy Bridgewater back?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I'll go Broncos. They still suck with him, but I'm still going to – I'll go Broncos.
Yeah.
Put sleeveless Garrett up. Put sleeveless Garrett up.
That's what I'm doing. I'm sending it to the Slack channel right now. Boom. All right.
Let's see what this guy looks like. It's blurry right now. It's
but anyway.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Holy fuck. You know what he looks like? He looks like the guy from The Green Mile. That really just – Michael Duncan Clark or whatever that actor's name is. Rest in peace. Man. Rest in peace. He was also what's his name in Daredevil, Kingpin.
Oh yeah,
But holy shit, dude, his arms are massive.
Oh yeah, he can't. I always wondered why he wore sleeves, but I guess that's why.
That's Michael Duncan Clark, massive. I really hope that's his name. For some reason, I think that's his name, Michael Duncan Clark.
Speaking of Denver, they play the Raiders this upcoming, or they played the Raiders, and they lost. And honestly,
the Raiders had a reason to win. They had to win it for their ex-coach, John Gruden, because they really, really like him. And so they really wanted to win this game for him because they want him back. And that was kind of like their way of protesting. They're protesting him to come back is like, hey, we'll win until we're going to keep winning until you bring him back as our head coach.
Josh Jacobs actually had like a quote. I don't remember it exactly, but he was saying something along the lines of, it was weird if you made a mistake you didn't have somebody screaming at you and screaming at the refs and screaming about the game. It was okay. We're just on to the next thing, which I mean, I understand that coaching styles are different. I mean, and if you're like a hard ass on people because you think that is the best way to coach, I mean, that's your prerogative as a coach. But I mean, if everyone responds differently to different kinds of coaching, and I'm assuming at the professional level, every coach knows how to kind of deal with their players to an extent.
Sure.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe he had a ton of pressure on him. I mean, they paid him a fuck ton of money to win a Super Bowl. I mean, I'd be stressed too as the years tick down if I was John Gruden. So I can imagine being a little tightly
racist.
No, not that.
They paid him a lot of money. He was really stressed out. So obviously,
so 7
it
years
just makes
ago,
sense.
He said some racist stuff, and then it was time to go.
And he was just really stressed out. So he said some racist things. That's
Dallas. They went into Foxborough and they won it. They won in overtime with a walk-off touchdown to CeeDee Lamb. The whole game was actually
sick. By the way, that was actually a sick walk-off.
Well, it was the Cowboys scored, and they scored like really fast, and then they kicked the ball off to the Patriots. First play after they scored, Patriots throw a 75-yard touchdown to Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah,
and then we hit overtime. Blah blah blah, and then it's Patriots get it, no good. Cowboys get it. It's like they're backed up 3rd and 25 or something like that, and then they hit CeeDee Lamb for a huge touchdown.
That was a sick play. CeeDee Lamb, I think, might be a top 5 receiver.
I mean, talent-wise, I think he is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. But it just they run the ball so much in Dallas that it's really like it's their games where he'll get 26% of the target share, which is a crazy amount, but they'll only throw 20 times. So
how's he doing in fantasy? I know he had a big game last week, but overall so far, how is CeeDee Lamb doing for fantasy owners?
Let me see here really quick. I could tell you what he is ranked. CD, he is the PPR wide receiver 22. So he's a top 24 guy. He's a wide receiver 2 at the moment. I mean, he's getting 15, 9, 6, 11 targets.
That's
2, 3.
15 targets, insane.
Yeah, that was against the Bucks in week 1.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
I mean, but go Dallas. And then we had the night game, Seattle, Pittsburgh. This was the most boring game in the world. Did you watch this? So
bad.
And yes, it went into overtime, and I didn't even give a fuck. Like,
yep.
But Pittsburgh won it. Chris Carson went on IR, and obviously Russell Wilson is on IR. So I mean, they're working with not a full, like their full roster. But I would just
DK Metcalf. Just real quick about this game, there was a play. Right before overtime, I believe, where DK caught the ball, and I think he fumbled it instead of going out of bounds. He tried to get some extra yards for the field goal team, I guess, and he fumbles it. Anyway, Shannon Sharp tweeted at him on Twitter and was like, "What a stupid, dumbass play!" And then DK doesn't take shit, dude. DK
I wouldn't either.
But I mean, it's Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp. But anyway, he was just like, "Shut the fuck up, little boy," or something. I'm paraphrasing, but he said,
it's
boy.
Exactly what he
said, little boy.
I mean, dude, Shannon Sharp is. I like Shannon Sharp as like a personality. Like he's funny. Like he gets. He's entertaining. But I mean,
he's becoming a Skip character.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, after you spend so much time with Skip, I mean, like you're bound.
You're basically just you're trolling to get clicks.
And then the Monday night game, Buffalo, Tennessee. This was the third game that lost. I went 7 for 10 in the 10-team parlay. I had Buffalo winning.
Sad. Too bad you bet on the Chargers.
That's
it was doomed from the beginning.
But okay, Buffalo. They didn't kick that field goal at the end to go for the tie. I understand,
Andrew. We talked about that. Listen, Andrew, we talked about this over Messenger. Okay, me and B3T Sports Alec agree. The analytics says you have to go for it.
Oh, I don't know about have to. I mean, like what Alex said. What Alex said what Alex said is important. Like, if you go into overtime, both of those teams at the end of the game were like their offenses were moving. So you're putting a 50-50 you're putting it on a coin flip. Like I understand. So I'm assuming that their analytics had to have told them that going for this fourth down play is a higher percentage chance of success than the
I literally put the percentage in the group chat. I put it in.
Sure.
It was 60 something percent if they win for it on fourth down, 40 something percent if they kicked a field goal for overtime.
No, that's to win the game. Like what I'm saying is like,
of
that's
course.
I'm just saying the percentage in general of making the first down, the fourth and whatever, versus like in your head going, okay, if we kick the field goal, because you should not miss a field goal from that distance. Like that should be a gimme, right? So you were it's 100% guaranteed overtime.
It's not 100%. No.
It's 99% guaranteed.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I'm sure if we looked at the actual, I would say if we looked at the actual numbers, it would be somewhere between 90 and 95%.
What would that have been? A 9-yard field goal?
Sometimes, hold on. Just letting you know, the closer you are, there is diminishing returns, and sometimes a closer field goal is actually harder than maybe a 30 to 20, a 30-yard field goal.
Let's just say it's a 12.
I don't have these numbers,
I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to bore the viewers who are very enthralled.
They're already bored hearing you talk about how it's 100% chance that they were going to go to overtime. It's not 100% chance.
Yeah, I know. You know what? Justin Tucker's really good at knowing.
Don't bring Justin Tucker into this. There's no need to bring Justin Tucker into this conversation. Now, Andrew, tell me.
Yeah.
Did you want them to go? Were you a fan of them going for it on fourth down?
As a team.
No. I mean, as a team,
it's fine. I mean, like I assumed they were going to get it too when they went for it. I'm just there was part of me that wanted them to kick the field goal because one, it gives more time. Two, it's better for fantasy. Yeah, free football. It's better for fantasy for players. But I had already lost the 10-team parlay at this point too. I mean, I want my numbers to be better, but I mean, it's not like I was going to.
You also know that every Titans fan watching this game wanted them to kick a field goal.
Oh, 100%.
Which kind of tells you that most Titans fans probably thought that they were going to get that fourth down.
Well, what gets me too is Josh Allen fumbled the football like on that play. They didn't run.
I thought he slipped.
Or he slipped, or so he there was a misplay. There's something that was a miss.
He slipped. I think he slipped.
So they didn't even get to actually run the play. So I mean, that's got to be more frustrating than anything. We'll never know if they were actually going to make it like as designed. But that's last week. All right.
Now this is this week, week 7. Now let's talk before we give our picks for week 7. Let's talk about our records because I have the numbers up. Andrew, do you have the numbers up? Are we going to put the numbers up on this podcast? Are we going to put the numbers up?
We sure can.
You made a really good graphic. You made a really good graphic. Now, I do like how the ranks, since there's just 2 of us, I'm 1 and you're down to 2. That's very cool. I am at 50%, 47 wins and 47 losses.
Yes, sir.
Andrew, you are 44 and 50.
Yes.
You got your 3 games back.
I am 3 games back. Now you
can get it this week. You can get it this week. Easy peasy.
The half a point kind of fucked me on the Tampa Bay game. That sucks, but it is what it is. I was totally wrong on the Chargers game, but
it could have told you that. In fact, I probably did when you gave your pick last week.
Fuck it. Let's just hop into it here.
Fuck it, dude. Let's fucking go. Week 7, starting tonight. Give me the spread for tonight's game, Broncos Browns.
It is 3 points. Or no, it's not. It's 1 point to the Cleveland Browns.
I'm taking the Broncos.
You're taking the Broncos to win?
Well,
sure.
Either to win or +1. I'm gonna take the +1.
I'm definitely taking the Browns because God knows I know.
At -1.
I'm gonna take the Browns at -1. Yes.
It always.
Actually, I take that back. The line has moved. It is 1.5.
Even better. I'm taking the Broncos 1.5. That means if they lose by 1, I still win.
-1.5, and I'm taking them.
It always cracks me up that we pick these Thursday night because we record on Thursdays,
right? But
we don't release it till Friday. That just cracks me up, and everyone listening is like, "We already fucking know."
I know.
Who won and who lost.
They only know the Thursday. Okay, we got Carolina and the Giants. Carolina are 2.5 point favorites.
That's right. Since I am winning,
yep,
I have to answer all these first. Okay. Remind me again. So the Panthers are 2.5-point favorites
against the Giants.
I'll take the Panthers, Andrew. I'll be nice to you. I'll take the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Also, the Giants are just trash, and it's probably doubtful that Saquon returns.
I think it's doubtful.
If you're a Giants fan, you probably want to sit Saquon another week.
Probably. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what the Giants fans think. They're silly anyway.
We got the Jets and the Patriots. The Patriots are 6.5-point favorites.
This is in division. This is an in division game.
Yes, sir.
I am going to take the Jets to cover. They probably won't win, but I bet they get within 6.5.
I am gonna take the Patriots.
Okay, that's fair.
The only reason being is the last time they played earlier in the week or early in the season, the Jets got destroyed. That was only Wilson's second game, but still.
Sure.
Kansas City, Tennessee Titans, the Chiefs are 5-point favorites.
I am going to take the Chiefs. I'm still out on the Titans.
Same.
I still think Derrick Henry's going to run all over the Chiefs, but
100%. But I think Patrick Mahomes can do enough that they don't have a secondary.
Too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jack Rabbit, whatever his name is, Jack Rabbit something. It's just a sick nickname, Jack Rabbit. But he's just not good. He was getting burned all game.
Did you see that catch Julio made though, like off the helmet?
That
was like vintage Julio.
That was fucking sick.
Okay, we got Washington versus Green Bay. Green Bay are 7.5-point favorites.
Give me Washington to cover.
Washington to cover, really? Okay, I'm taking.
Yeah, Packers have been weird this season. I think they're going to win, but they haven't really been a dominant force.
I am taking the Packers. Atlanta, they're 2.5-point favorites over Miami.
Give me Atlanta. And if you're not starting Cordell Patterson this week, you're a fool. You are a damn fool. He is ranked 3, I believe, in PPR leagues as a running back. He is getting so much volume.
Volume is insane. And after the bye, who knows how they're going to use it, right? Now,
will be 100%.
It will be a scary sign if they like cut back a little bit and they like, you know what I mean?
No,
if they're like,
don't say that,
if they like double down on it. No, I'm just saying.
I don't care what you're saying. I don't say it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Don't say it.
All right. Well, okay.
Don't say it, Andrew.
Let's see. What game is next? We have. I'm also taking Atlanta, so we're both taking that. Baltimore, cool. They're 6.5-point favorites against Cincinnati.
Give me the Ravens, baby. All day, every day.
Taking the Ravens. Next up, Detroit versus the Rams. The Rams are 15.5-point favorites.
Give me the Lions.
I am taking the Rams.
I think that's silly. I think Dan Campbell is going to get their first. Dan Campbell is going to lead the Lions to their first win of the season.
This is a
look at Robbie. Can we show Robbie's face? We need to show Robbie's face at least once an episode because he sometimes just gives us these looks like, "What the fuck did I sign up for?
It's like
how the fuck did I?"
But he's like, but you always know when he's listening because he's like,
yeah, because then he'll give you this look and you're like, "I'm so sorry, Robbie. I don't know how you found yourself in this situation."
Okay, next up we have the Raiders are 3-point favorites against Philly.
Give me the Raiders.
I am also going to take the Raiders. By the way, just really quick mentioning on the last game, the Detroit Rams game, that's a double revenge game. Both QBs playing their former team.
Oh, true. I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
I'm going to hammer the Lions even more.
All right. Houston, Arizona. Arizona are 17.5-point favorites.
Oh my God. Oh my, give me Houston. Just that sheer spread alone. I gotta go Houston.
I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna take Houston as well, just because that's fucking
any given Sunday, Andrew.
I know, but 17.
17 any given Sunday, sir.
Tampa Bay, they are 12-point favorites against Chicago. This is another revenge game because last year
give me the Bears.
Give me the Bears. Really? Okay. I'm taking Tampa.
I mean, they just have to cover 12.5.
Oh yeah, they do. This is a revenge game though. They lost to him last year. I'm just saying, Tom Brady doesn't like to lose.
Yeah, but does Okay. I mean, they're a good defense.
Yeah. Okay. Colts, San Francisco. San Francisco, they are 4.5-point favorites.
I hate both of these teams, and I hate this matchup, and I hate this spread just as much. Fuck. Give me the Colts. I don't know why.
That's a both.
I just is Jimmy G back this game?
I'm starting him. I think Jimmy G is playing.
Thank God, because my other two is specifically in our dynasty league. Herbert and Big Ben both are on buys, so I literally had to pick up. It was either Jimmy G or Geno Smith. Those were literally the only two options I had.
Speaking of Geno Smith, the final game, Saints, Seahawks. Saints are 4.5-point favorites.
Give me the Saints.
I'm also taking the Saints. That's another both.
I want to see famous Jameis go off again.
I think he will. We've seen that.
He's so hot and cold, dude. He's so hot and cold.
Yeah, but with prep though, he's looked good every time he's gotten a lot.
Sure.
He's coming off a bye.
Geno actually hasn't looked bad as a backup.
No. I would say
he hasn't looked spectacular, but he hasn't looked bad.
Those are our picks.
That's the Monday night game.
That's everything.
Damn. Okay.
Follow us on Twitter before this man ends the podcast. Follow us at B3T Sport, at Bet Bath and Beyond. I'm
Bet Bath and Beyond,
Heidemann,
B3T Sports, Bath Boy Ian. Robbie, do you have a Twitter?
I do not.
Robbie, we're gonna make. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll make a Twitter for Robbie so everyone can go follow Robbie as well. It's gonna be at Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Got him.
Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling.
Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. How many Madonnas can that Mazda fit? My brick talk is more than obvious. It's ominous. Garage is the phantom. Ghouls, ghosts, and goblins. Blonde mohawk the collection. I'm Dennis Rodman.